Welcome to TMZ Live. This was a big weekend in Los Angeles. The Netflix is a joke week really capped off in a big way over the weekend with lots and lots of comedians.
Huge events. Dave Chappelle had a special that he taped, the Kevin Hart roast. There was an event at the Hollywood Bowl last night, night of too many stars, they called it.
It's just been a huge
lot
weekend.
Of comedians.
Huge weekend. And guess who was kind of front and center, or at least top of mind for lots of the comedians? That would be one Kanye West.
Yes, Kanye is clearly a polarizing figure, and I guess that's why comedians latch onto him as something they want to talk about. It's relevant.
And easy.
And everybody has, everybody has an opinion about it. So they did. Now, Dave Chappelle, and we talked about this last week, that Dave has made it very clear he is fully embracing Kanye and has said that that's his guy, right? And has brought him out at certain events.
And at the same time, you had people like Jon Stewart coming out and saying blank Kanye and just saying we are not going to support somebody who embraces Adolf Hitler.
Right. Well, Dave, for his part, explained why he's not turning his back on Kanye. We'll get to that in a second, but here's another time that Kanye came up. During the Kevin Hart roast, Kanye wasn't there as far as we know, but Pete Davidson used Kanye to take a jab at Tony Hinchcliffe.
Kill Tony! Please, someone, kill Tony. Tony, nothing you say tonight will hurt my feelings. I was in a beef with Kanye, so I've taken shots from better gay Nazis.
Okay, the gay Nazi part, I think there's a thing on Tony Hinchcliffe's show, Kill Tony, that it's a recurring joke about Tony is gay.
And at first, you know, when we watched
Tony
it this
was
morning,
there,
I was telling Charles this morning that the gay thing felt homophobic to me until I heard everything else that was said at this roast, and nothing was off limits.
It really wasn't.
And so we're nobody special.
Right.
Or I'm nobody.
And by the way, we're going to get into more of the roast later with one of the guests who's going to be with us next segment. But
it's not that
Kanye.
It was still casually homophobic. I just want to put that out there. It is very casually homophobic. I'm sorry
but
when
there was
you add it as an
homophobia,
insult.
there was racism.
There was a lot worse out there.
There was so much in this roast.
It was tame.
Zero was off limits.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kanye continues to be. He knows that he's at the center of these things, and he knows that Dave has taken a lot of backlash for his support of Kanye. But in fact, Kanye even showed up at one of the after parties for Dave Chappelle on Saturday night at a small club in Hollywood, and Kanye was on stage. There's no video of that because Dave Chappelle at his events does not allow any cameras. So,
but Dave Chappelle rides with Kanye.
He won't turn his back on him for anything, even these vile, hate-filled comments, because he has a personal relationship with him. He's seen the good side of him. He's seen him at benefits in Dayton, Ohio, when there was
So I went to the taping Saturday night of Dave Chappelle's show, and he did explain this, and he said, and I think he did this, by the way, there were 3 nights. He did Thursday, Friday, Saturday at the Hollywood Palladium. And each night he does this joke. They tape all of it and then they'll cut it together for the special. He explained, he said, I know that Kanye is a polarizing guy. I'm paraphrasing here because I'm doing it from memory. But he said, I'm never going to turn my back on this guy for one reason. He went back to, he said there was a mass shooting, I don't know if you remember this, in 2019 in Dayton, Ohio. Dave is from that area. And he said that he wanted to do something to boost the spirits of the city. And he reached out to some friends, including Kanye, and said it would just be great. He said he ran into Kanye at some other event, and he said, it would be really great if you could do something for the community. And Kanye said, I got you. And Dave thought that it was just, he wanted Kanye to come out and greet some people. And instead, Kanye flew his entire Sunday choir. Flew them out and did this performance in downtown Dayton that nobody was expecting. And he said it wasn't just that he performed. He said he performed, and afterward, I watched him stand there and greet every single person personally that wanted to talk to him. And he took photos and he did all this. He said, I can't turn my back on that person. As for his espousing Hitler, Dave said, look, I'm not down with that at all. And he said he actually called Kanye and said, listen, even if you're trying to make a point, man, like cozying up to Hitler is not the way to do it. And he paused and he said, and then Kanye said, did the Jews send you? The Jews sent you, didn't they?
Right.
And that's when Dave said, okay, man, I got to go. And he hung up.
Don't you turn your back on your friend at some point?
But he made it clear he's not espousing those things, but he's not going to publicly.
But then I don't get that. I mean,
Me
honestly,
neither.
to me, it's very similar to Rudy Giuliani was a hero during 9/11. And things that happened afterward, a lot of people said, I get it, but I'm not with it anymore. And I'm wondering.
And it doesn't
what the,
erase
I'm
the
wondering
good
what-
acts. I mean, he has tremendous capacity for kindness. I'm sure Kanye has done good deeds, but
Right.
he has said things now beyond the pale that it's okay to turn your back on him. This happened with James Franco and Seth Rogen. They turned their back when the behavior was no longer consistent with their values, and I think that's okay too.
And the weird thing is, I was about to say, well, like, what if Kanye had actually tried to celebrate slavery? And then I thought, wait a minute, he kind of did.
Wait,
so that doesn't work.
Yeah, that's the least objectionable thing he's done.
That doesn't work, and it's not the least.
Yeah,
I mean,
why is that the least objectionable?
No, I'm saying they're
It's
all
terrible.
objectionable, but I'm saying
It's terrible.
It's
but
awful.
You know, he has divided the comedy community.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle is a huge voice, but there are a lot of people who are not with him on this.
What's up, TMZ? This is Marlon from Bronx, New York. Dave Chappelle, he has always pretty much been in support of Kanye West. You know, there was a point at time where Kanye was spiraling and he was going through the whole situation with his wife and he was making rants about that. And then Dave actually flew to Kanye West to support him. And Kanye had tweeted about that, stating that, you know, he really was happy that Dave came out to check on him. And even back last year, you know, when Dave Chappelle, when Kanye was actually, you know, once again, he was kind of like making certain remarks about Dave Chappelle, saying that, oh, you know, you're calling yourself the funniest guy in the world, but, you know, Chris Rock is actually a bigger name than you.
Yeah,
And even at that point, you know, Dave Chappelle was still kind of like, you know, in support of him. He was kind of, you know, so he's always been there for Kanye. And when he brought Kanye West onto stage, you know, the crowd still was, you know, giving him an ovation. He still got an applause. He was shaking
I mean, Marlon,
hands.
look, we saw that Kanye sold out SoFi Stadium 2 nights. So
Twice.
there are certainly people who are forgiving. Dave is among them. And there are others who just say, no, enough is enough. Turns out that the Patriots coach, Mike Vrabel, and former NFL reporter, Diana Russini, I guess she's still a reporter, just doesn't have a job right now, but not all of their rendezvous over the years were romantic, solo, one-on-one. As it seems it's happening every day, there's more and more people just looking back at things that may have seemed innocent at the time, but now they look at it through a different lens. In this case, it is around Super Bowl in the year 2022, when it was here in LA. There were a lot of parties, a lot of events, and one of them, this was, I believe, on the Friday night before the Super Bowl, there's Diana Russini, and the man she's hugging there is Mike Vrabel.
So you're saying it's not a romantic event?
Well, that's what people who were at this event and who were around this weekend are saying, is that, yes, they saw them together, and even then they didn't think it was anything, and even now they don't think it's
right.
anything.
In that case, Charles, they are telling us that it looks like something that it necessarily wasn't. Kings of Leon was playing at the event. It was at the Forum, so it was really loud, and they were leaning in to talk to one another.
So it's sort of Coldplay-y.
Sort of.
Sort of.
I mean,
But
they
except
could-
that
they
nobody
could-
thought anything at the time because they were just talking.
Right.
Like,
They
that's
would
how
have
you
had to be really bold to have gone in front of all of the NFL people that were there and to act like they were in a romantic
But
relationship.
mind you,
at
this
this
is-
time, were they?
They were.
Yes.
Because we had seen them in 2020 kissing.
The
and then-
2021.
Right.
out
June
the-
of 2021
the
is
boat.
on the lake with the baby. And then this is.
So this is 7 months later,
Right.
7, 8 months
I mean, they're
later.
not making out, but apparently they were in the middle of this still.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly.
Absolutely.
So it's, like 7 to 8 months
Right.
after the boat
It's not
trip,
like they
after
couldn't
she
keep their hands off each other and were like, hey, come here, or let's kiss in front of Adam Schefter. That didn't happen.
Right. They weren't that bold.
No.
God, there
they
are
weren't that
so
bold
many
about it.
pictures.
You know what I think it is, Harvey? I think people saw Mike Vrabel and assumed that Diana was his wife and thought nothing of it, and now the scandal.
Well, how can that
and you
be?
go back.
Wait a minute, she was a
People in the NFL would have
I
thought
know,
that.
but you wouldn't recognize her
just
to
like,
that degree.
You mean regular fans.
Regular people,
Right.
exactly.
Regular
and now you hear
fans
about the
would think.
scandal, and then you
No,
go
but,
back and
but
look.
wasn't this a Super Bowl event?
Yeah, not necessarily this. I just mean all the photos that are coming out in general now. I think people saw them, just had no idea that anything was going on at the time.
Right.
And now there's the biggest scandal in sports, and you look back, you go, hey, I think I saw Mike Vrabel in 2023, and you're like, oh, that's not his wife.
That
That's
wasn't
Diana
his wife.
Rossini.
And you go back and you look right.
Can I tell you what plays in their favor? That there
What?
are so many pictures that the first
I don't
one,
think it plays in their favor.
No, I'll tell you why. The first and the second one are really shocking.
Yeah.
But we're getting so used to every day there's another picture that it's like, okay, another picture.
This was just like, they were just like second wives.
And it's sort of like, things go to this crescendo and then all of a sudden they just go down.
It's like the most...
To a denouement, if you will.
It's the most successful relationship in
Très
sports.
français.
It's like, it's amazing.
Hi, I'm Amber and I'm in Georgia. I think the reason that people are so interested in this is because people love to play detective from their living room and they like to be body language experts. And the more photos that come out, it's like it's been in our face for 6 years now. And people like to feel morally superior. So they want to get on there and they want to,
I think
say you did this and you did this and look at this. And that's what I think.
Absolutely right on both counts.
Yep.
Coming up.
Well, Kevin Hart's roast was pretty epic, but I gotta say, I think Kevin Hart did not get the worst of it.
Cheryl's husband killed himself. Apparently, black does crack if it's married to Sheryl and jumps off a roof.
For me to hit Shane and then me hit Tony, it just shows how much we love each other.
Be right back.
Well, Kevin Hart's roast, the live roast that went down on Netflix last night, was pretty epic. But I gotta say, I think Kevin Hart did not get the worst of it. The way these celebrity roasts work, there's one person that everyone is there to just completely eviscerate. And that happened.
And Kevin Hart said, you better do that.
He said, whatever, everything is, there's nothing off limits. And he got jokes about his affair in Vegas. He got jokes about his wife.
Anything they could think of.
And of course, there were the short jokes also and all that stuff too.
But they went after each other. The roasters went after each other in such a big way.
In such a big way, in such a brutal way at times. I just found myself watching it. I was like, I know as comedians, everybody has to laugh at everybody's jokes. But come on. And one person in particular who got it a couple of times was Sheryl Underwood, who was on the dais. And it just seemed like the jokes for her were maybe crossed the line. Here is an example of one of those jokes.
Cheryl's husband killed himself. Apparently, black does crack if it's married to Sheryl and jumps off a roof.
So that happened not once, but twice, jokes about her husband's suicide. And you saw her laughing, and she certainly got back at both of those guys when she got on the mic and did just as much damage to others. So joining us right now to talk about what the rules are for these things, if there are any, is Sheryl Underwood herself. Sheryl, welcome back to TMZ Live. Good to see you.
Well, and listen, I am a big fan. I watched the show, and I really love being here and talking to your audience. But my husband killed himself in 1990. Really what happened, right? I was in the Air Force Reserve, and they were getting ready to mobilize my unit to go in the Desert Shield and Storm. I'm sorry if I got it in reverse. It's been a really busy night. But my husband killed himself August of 90. So what they're talking about is his suicide over 30 years ago.
Nonetheless, what happened was everybody seemed to be pushing everybody's buttons. Even if it was a year ago or 30 years ago, it was, let's just find the most sensitive thing and just go in on it. I got to say, for me, I'm not shocked at a whole lot, but what I heard, and I didn't hear it all, it shocked me.
Well, I think it's the new way of roasting. I grew up with the Friars Club. I did one of the last Dick Johnson roasts. I did John Witherspoon's roast. But I grew up, when I first came to Los Angeles, I was hanging out in the Friars Club with those old-fashioned Borscht Belt roasters, those Jackie Masons. You know, those guys.
Don Rickles.
Yes, yes. And that's why I said to Kevin at the end, we only roast who we love.
Can you always just do that at the end and say anything
hold on.
you want?
I think there was,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And when Tony Headsclef said what he said, and I said, my husband only died once. You die every night with them whack jokes you telling.
no. So is it fine as long as you get an opportunity to fire back at whoever said the thing? Then it's all fine.
Yes, but can I tell you something? There was a team of us and rehearsing things that we could say and what the parameters were. But the best part was being with my colleagues. The best part was hanging out and Tiffany Haddish and Lizzo and my fraternity brother J-Dub, one of the Plastic Cup boys, and all of us that know each other. That's why I said freedom of speech is alive and well, and it's alive in Netflix. All of us are different races, different sexual orientations, and different political persuasions. But for me to hit Shane and then me hit Tony, it just shows how much we love each other. We may not agree on everything, but I think Netflix and going to that brunch at Ted Sarando's house and to be able to walk up to him and just say, thank you for including me in something. We all need work. We need work in this town. We want to drive to work, not just fly to work. So for Netflix to do this, Kevin Hart
to do it here in LA.
And we want to thank Chris Spencer. If I wouldn't have gotten that phone call and worked with those Netflix producers and writers, I don't think I would be here today. And I'm on a tour called I Need a Job Tour because I need a job. So that's why I can take all that income and fire.
You said something about when you first came to LA and that the Friars Club, the rules, there were no rules and it was hands off. And it seemed like then things got a little more tame, let's say.
Yeah.
But the last couple of years, it feels like it's swinging back the other way. I want to play for you this moment with The Rock, because this particular joke shocked a lot of people, coming from The Rock at least.
Draymond, that's your name, right? That's my boy. I was thinking about this, you know, of all the cool-ass black names you could have, that is the laziest black name I've ever heard. Because all you did was put a D in front of Raymond.
So that
bleeping,
it was
put the D in front of the R word.
It was a really bad word for mentally disabled people.
Right, for
obviously.
special needs people. Yeah, right. He put the D in front of the R word.
But everybody laughed.
And everyone laughed. So has it swung back where now there are certain words that in this context people are fine with?
Well, that's why I said what I said. The words that the hip white male comics are using that black comics would get canceled for using, what you're bringing back is the use of the lexicon. Some comedy, especially when you're talking about roast comedy, true roast comedy, it's not for mainstream domain. But you're talking about Netflix. And I know people don't agree and to say, well, why would you use these words? But what I thought was good about what The Rock did, everybody was questioning his blackness. And he really made the connection. He leaned in on it, Yes, he made the connection. Draymond Green is not a black name. You just put the D in front of Raymond. But remember earlier there was a joke about Dwayne Johnson. Naeem Lynn said Dwayne Johnson is the blackest name, but you play white dudes in movies. See, to me, it's a way for us to talk about the issues with humor and come to some common ground. Years ago, you couldn't say M word for little people, couldn't say R word for the disabled. I have a joke that I tell about my own sister. I tried to say disabled, but it does not work. When sometimes politically correctness does not fit in comedy. So all I'm saying is give us the latitude, say what we say, and the audience determines whether they don't like it.
You know, jokes aside, I got to say, you said something earlier about you want to be able to drive to your next gig and not fly to it.
Yes.
We're on a big thing here that, you know, the city and the state have killed Hollywood. And
Yes.
it really is just a travesty. So I'm so glad you said that, because I'll tell you, voting in this election in California was really tough, just because it's so awful what's happened to this industry. So I'm really glad you said that. I really am.
And the politicians that are in right now, we're not against them. We just need them to give more tax breaks. Understand that we're not saying that this quality of work is not in another state or another country. But when you're talking about the great people that pull together the entire Netflix is a Joke weekend, they live in this town. People are losing their homes. People can't replace their homes that burnt down. The politician got to understand, you spend more money on one thing that you don't even fix. But then you don't want to do what you need to do to keep the jobs so that the growing middle class in our business could stay here. Daytime talk shows, game shows, cooking shows. If we could get those tax breaks, so we got to elect a governor and a mayor that understands that we want to work in this town. But I'm going to tell you something.
You should be running.
Yeah.
You should be running, Cheryl.
Get this woman in front of a
Seriously.
lectern right now.
I think the jobs are going to come back. All these tech titans that want to live in Beverly Hills, who are you going to floss against if you don't live in Beverly Hills? So the jobs are going to come back. And I got to say this before I go. I got a Sheryl Underwood's a Great American Talent Search. We're doing it in June in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Family-friendly, community-friendly, corporate-friendly. And then I got a gospel play, part 1 and part 2, that I'm doing on all colleges. I need help. I need support. I need sponsors. And I need representation.
All right. Well, you're definitely going to get the support on the road. I know that. The
Thank you.
representation, we'll see what happens in the election.
For my ideas. And I want
for your ideas.
No, we
other
get it.
TMZ. I want to do other TMZ, sports, everything y'all got. I want to come back.
Why don't you just run for mayor, for crying out loud? Seriously. Thank you, Cheryl.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Coming up.
I think Rihanna should be nominated for Mom of the Year on the heels of Mother's Day. Listen, everyone knows that your kids, they, make a little drawing or something, and you think, oh, that's cute. You put it up on the fridge.
But she messed up her body for her kids.
Yeah.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
BB Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too.
Did you just say, look at the water? I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at.
TMZ.
I think Rihanna should get, at least be nominated for Mom of the Year on the heels of Mother's Day. Because, listen, everyone knows that you see your kids, they, make a little drawing or something, and you think, oh, that's cute, and you put it up on the fridge. That's what you do, and you leave it at that.
But she messed up her body for her kids.
Yeah, and I think that's just going too far.
That's not Crayola, by the way.
No, that is an actual... So the paper, which is, yes, that is resting on Rihanna's backside, the scribbling was done by one of her 3 kids, and she decided she was going to get a tattoo of that. And the folks over at Bang Bang New York Tattoos, they put in the work.
3 in the morning they did this. So, boy,
Too much.
Rides or dies for her kids.
Typically I have nothing negative to say about Bad Girl Riri. The only thing I can see when I see this tattoo is, no offense, because you guys are a little on the older side. You know when old people...
No offense taken that we are.
Great. So you know when old people get older and older and older, they get those ugly veins on the back of their legs.
Not only old people get them, by the way.
That's what
Some
what are they
people get them when
called?
they're younger.
Varicose veins. Yeah, that looks like a varicose vein, on a 30.
Okay.
Well,
varicose
then
veins
if she does get varicose veins, by comparison,
covered up.
it's covered up, and B, it's not going to look as bad given the tattoo, because all you're going to see is the tattoo.
No, then you're going to see the varicose veins and the tattoos.
This is a mom wanting to encourage her kids, say, "Oh, that's so great."
She couldn't just put this one on the refrigerator and wait for when they get a little bit older.
People do this all the time. They put the name of their kid on their shoulder and whatnot. She just did it a different way.
That's a name on the shoulder is not scribble scrabble.
See, here's what you don't understand. You're not an artist.
I'm not.
Rihanna is an artist.
You know-
And her children are
you know what
apparently
else?
artists as well.
So you-
don't have an artist's mind. You don't get it.
You don't
That's why.
either. You don't have any visceral veins tattooed on you.
I don't have any kids
What
that are
about the other
scribbling
two kids?
anything.
The other two kids are going to feel left out now.
She's gonna have to let them scrabble something too, and
So it's going to be all over her body.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
By the way, the one thing that I know about Rihanna and ASAP, they like Italian.
Ah, yes, because they were out for Mother's Day in New York City.
Swaggy.
Went to, what's the name of the restaurant?
Cucina Alba.
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 Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
She
they,
looks great.
They like Italian food in
As
LA.
we know in LA,
They're Giorgio Baldi all the time.
the ride or die for Giorgio Baldi. yes.
And they seem to be getting along just famously, which of course they are. And then some,
After the Met Gala.
there was a little video of them where they didn't look too happy, and everybody said, "Oh my God, there's trouble." And it's like any married couple. It was late, and they were whatever.
Tired.
But anyway, they went out to dinner for
Everything's
Mother's
fine.
Day.
Hi, so I'm Steve calling from Baton Rouge, and I really think that the tattoo that she got, I think it's a good sentimental thing, but it is a little messy on the back of the leg, I'd say. It's not something that I would do. So I definitely think that it could be seen as, impulsive or maybe regretful later on down the line in the future. Like I heard them talking about the veins in the legs and stuff, and it does kind of resemble that. So I'd say that.
Here's the thing: as a parent, she can hold that over the kid's head later in life. and be
No,
like, you see what I
it's
did
the
to
same
try and
thing where they
encourage
say,
you?
I gave birth to you. It was painful.
Yes, exactly.
The kids
It's a
don't.
visualization
The kids
of
don't care. My issue that I've really been thinking about is tattoos have become such a thing now. I remember when they became a thing, like, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, when a lot of people started getting them. I thought, oh God. But now everybody has tattoos. There's going to be a pendulum swing where people are going to start getting them removed, and then the thing is going to be to get tattoos removed, and it's really painful. And they're going down a road that is going to end badly at a point when the trend changes. And there's going to be this whole move to get rid of tattoos, and all these people are going to get messed up and on Advil.
You're talking about other people going down a road?
Yes.
You just took us down an old, dusty dirt road what was that rant about?
It's going to.
Really?
Yes. People are going to say, oh my God, I hate tattoos now. I want the clean look. It's going to happen. It happens with it happens with everything. And it's going to happen here. You just trust me on this. Trust me. I won't be around, but trust me.
Coming up.
Stefon Diggs had a Mother's Day event. Cardi B was there, and they seem
they're together.
Very.
That's not co-parenting.
Yeah, the hand on the chest.
That's not a co-parenting thing. I hate to say this because I really, really like her, but she's kind of losing credibility.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. Stefon Diggs had a Mother's Day event, and we don't mean like a personal barbecue for the mothers of his children.
The lucky mothers.
This was an actual event to celebrate moms on Mother's Day, held in the D.C. area. But the big headline out of this, while he was doing a nice thing for moms, very charitable.
Look at that.
Maybe the most important or the most recent mom in his life, Cardi B was there, and they seem
they're together.
Very.
That's not co-parenting.
Yeah, the hand on the chest.
That's not a co-parenting thing.
Yeah, that seems like
they are back.
They are back, and we kind of suspected this weeks ago when he showed up at one of her shows.
But they weren't displaying.
We didn't see this, but they did leave together, and so we thought, well, maybe they're rekindling.
I hate to say this because I really, really like her, but she's kind of losing credibility.
Because she gets really angry at men in her life
and
at
makes
some
it
point,
sound like the door is slammed forever.
Done.
Yeah. And it doesn't happen. Over and over and over.
Well, he's always going to be in her life in some capacity. I mean, they have a child together, so why not? Every once in a while.
But so you're saying that this
so
is
you
more
think this
of
is a once in a while thing?
It could be, maybe, perhaps. But it is rather interesting given what we know from the testimony from Jamila Adams last week. She said, Stefon Diggs likes to hook up with a lot of people in his circle. That doesn't seem to faze Cardi B based on these.
Phased her with Offset. Faced her with
Change of
Offset.
But Offset was a difference. I just feel like Stefon Diggs has been pretty open about his,
So wait a minute.
his penchant for hooking up with lots of different people.
So wait a minute, but
and
then,
having children with them.
But why then would she have gotten so mad and slammed the door a few weeks ago?
I don't know.
Heat of the moment.
Heat of the moment.
But why would there be heat in the moment if she knew going in, this is the drill?
There were a few months where we didn't hear him with any other women or anything like that. That was nice. It was like their honeymoon phase.
That's what Cardi said. It was really nice.
Let me go back in time 32 years, if I may. And 32 is an interesting number. During the O.J. Simpson trial, there was a call that Nicole Brown Simpson made to police. And she was calling about O.J. And they asked what he had done. And her response was, he's O.J. Simpson. I think you know his record. Why wouldn't I think you know his record apply to Stefon Diggs with Cardi going in?
Wow.
Diggs loves this comparison.
Diggs is like, hey, what's up with that metaphor?
But you know what I'm saying?
Hi, my name is Midori J. I am from Detroit, Michigan. I feel like her coming was more of a statement. Both of them are in the public eye and being watched right now, especially Stefon, that was just acquitted on a serious charge. So I feel like the pressure to clean up the image is pretty real and it doesn't feel organic. It seems like everyone's trying to come out looking like the bigger person. And I just feel like the timing makes it hard to ignore.
Mm-hmm. So tell me again about the OJ. How is that related here?
So it goes back to Gretna Green.
Never mind. It seems like maybe Kim Zolciak and Kroy Biermann really can just move on once and for all. Because we watched for years as they were separated but still living in the same house. The police coming out.
Say that without laughing?
I'll say this because now we know that she has a boyfriend.
Right.
And now it seems like Kroy has found himself a new romantic interest that is not too far from Kim's romantic interest. This is what you call a love rectangle, a love square, because that woman that you see Kroy talking to there, she is the ex-wife of Kim's new boyfriend. So it's kind of a
Is this love or
spouse swap?
Is it love or revenge?
Well, it could be a bit of both. We're told they went on a 3-hour hike.
You could do that.
The vibes I'm getting from this is like kind of friendly.
So who is she?
So Jillian Green is Kim's current boyfriend's ex-wife.
Right.
And we did know that these two talked because Jillian and Kim's new boyfriend had a really contentious divorce where in the documents, she said Kroy had actually reached out to her to warn them that Kim was going to drain them financially. And that was all in documents.
Right.
So we knew they knew each other, but we didn't know they like hung
So
out.
wait a minute. So Kroy
Reaches out to
warned them that Kim would drain him financially
Yes.
and therefore her.
Yes.
Right.
And so that's how they
Well,
started.
this has got to be love, right?
Exactly.
What could go wrong? This seems perfect. I mean,
But we're told
This is unbelievable.
We're told
the chapel.
Kim's side is she knew that they talk, doesn't know what their relationship is, but she doesn't care. So she's moved on.
Yeah, you believe that. So
I
she's
don't.
never going to get in a fight with Kroy Biermann again.
No,
hold on. We didn't say. I didn't say that they're not going to get into fights again. That will happen. But at least they'll be in love with other people.
Sure.
Ethan from Memphis, Tennessee. So Kim and Kroy are a very celebrated couple on the Bravoverse, right? But here with this divorce and everything going on with this custody battle that she's currently having, that she lost temporary custody of the kids, I don't think that's I think that's the furthest thing, rather, from her mind. Kroy hanging out with this young lady. I think she's happy in her relationship. I think she's trying to move on. And I think this is just another gotcha moment from Kroy as to say, hey.
Yeah, but why is Jillian playing along? Why is Jillian playing
Well, maybe Jillian wants to stick it to her ex also.
Exactly, right? I think it's just a game for these people, right? And in the social world, as you guys know, with celebrities, reality stars, may you have it, they're all in the same social network. So it's not so far beyond reproach that these two would meet at some point.
Coming up. Well, the TMZ After Dark tour gave you a little bit of, you got a little sports flavor this weekend. You also got some music in there. But it all turns into the biggest party in Hollywood. This one is no different, thanks to, you may recognize the professional wrestler, Swerve.
Be right back.
Well, the TMZ After Dark tour gave you a little bit of, you got a little sports flavor this weekend. You also got some music in there. Boy, we're just sort of combining all of our genres sometimes.
It's unbelievable.
But it all turns into the biggest party in Hollywood every weekend. This one is no different, thanks to, you may recognize the professional wrestler, Swerve, who also, turns out, can rap.
Yeah.
I did not know that about Swerve.
He's a star both inside and outside that ring. And he gave us a private, intimate concert on the bus. He rapped his music. He sang his original music. He was awesome. And we went on a little adventure with him. We started with Jameson's Pub. Then we went to the Rainbow Bar and Grill. And then we ended with Beaches Tropicana, where something fun happened. A Vogue class. The passengers all got to participate in a Vogue class. Do you know what that is?
Nope.
Yeah,
I also
Vogue dancing.
So basically,
From
it's
1990, whatever.
in Harlem.
Madonna did a song called Vogue.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was referencing. And he was just an amazing host. He also came into the TMZ office to do our podcast.
Does he have a recording deal? Like, does he? I know you said he has original music. Is he signed?
Yeah, he is. I'm pretty sure.
We had another bus.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we had another bus with Shy Taylor, who used to work here. She's an entertainment host, and she was amazing. And she was alongside Coach West, who...
I remember Shy, yeah.
I remember Shy.
Shy is great. We love Shy. She's just so, such a ball of energy. And Coach West, the DJ, this is West Hollywood's, best DJ. That is the DJ that has been with us throughout this whole process.
You
we
want
love
West
her.
Hollywood's best DJ, then you got to get on
And
TMZ
also,
After
if you
Dark.
want to have a good summer, get your tickets now. I can't stress this enough. We have huge celebrities coming. I don't want to say who, but if you're a fan of reality TV, if you're a fan of Dance Moms, if you're a fan of The Perfect Match,
TMZtours.com. Yeah. Okay. Every weekend we put polls up on the website. We want to see how you feel about various things that we posted over the week. We did it this weekend, and here are the results.
Settlement aside, the real winner is Blake Lively or Justin Baldoni.
There's no issue here.
It's gonna be
Absolutely.
Justin?
It has to be, because he is the real winner. You guys are wrong on the 24%. No, she didn't get a penny. Come on, man.
Not yet.
Well, that's not winning anything if she gets any attorney's fees. Fellow inmate talks Epstein's death.
Yeah, had him on the show last week.
Convinced me it's suicide or he's in the dark as well.
Because remember, he said it was absolutely suicide as far
It'll
as he
be 75-25, my guess.
No.
What?
Because everybody wants to believe.
Everybody thinks it's murder? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Vrabel and Russini's boat trip. Just friends on a lake or, come on.
It's come on 90%. Yep, 94%.
Yeah, it should be.
And UAP files release. Finally, the truth is coming, or Big Fat Nothing Burger. To this point, it's got to be Big Fat Nothing Burger. What came out last week was nothing.
Yeah, but there are 3 million more files yet to be released. Okay, last one. Spencer Pratt, after mayoral debate, he'd get my vote or stick to the hills.
They're going to say stick to the hills because they go with the negative.
Yeah, but he got 37%.
That's not enough to win office, I think.
I know. Oh, God, I got so much to say, but I'm not going to say it.
Wow.
Coming up.
Benedict Cumberbatch is a cycling enthusiast, and he was out riding last week in London when he ended up in a big argument with another cyclist. Notice one big difference from the U.S.
Be right back.
Road rage incidents, nothing too shocking here. We see them, unfortunately, quite frequently, especially in L.A. But
British bicyclists, different.
They do it differently, especially when they're famous. Benedict Cumberbatch is a cycling enthusiast, it turns out, and he was out riding last week in London when he ended up in a big argument with another cyclist. What they were arguing about, we're trying to piece together, but this is how it went down. Notice one big difference from the U.S.
I am listening to everything you're saying. You're deluded. You are lying. I was behind you the entire time.
You verbally abused me.
Oh no! I verbally abused the guy who completely, repeatedly broke the law.
Once.
And then you went to the crossing.
No, I did not.
There's no swearing. What the hell?
No swearing. Nobody put hands on the other person.
What's
they
wrong?
Screamed at each other. I wouldn't even say screamed.
It's a very polite argument or conversation, I think you could even say. But
we have more intense conversations than that here every day.
Yeah, that's very true.
They
But
say
here's
let's take it inside.
Here's what we think it's about. So apparently Benedict, what the other guy seems to be accusing him of is that Benedict ran through some red lights. And you know, when you're a biker, you have to abide by the laws of like other vehicles. So you're supposed to stop at those lights. And it seems like this guy was calling him out on that. They obviously got into some kind of argument. It's unclear exactly what happens after this. I think they both like just went their separate ways.
Can you go back to the video one more time? I want to see the bicycle.
Yes, the other guy I think is an e-bike. He said something about you went through a zebra crossing, or zebra, as they put it.
Zebra.
Oh, maybe that's the zebra. Maybe it's a pedestrian. It's a pedestrian crossing.
Oh, is that what they call that in the UK? You went through a zebra
This is
crossing.
way too civilized for me.
I mean, it calls him, you're deluded.
You're deluded is such a proper British insult. It's almost as if the UK hired a new set of Karens to monitor the bike lane. I think he just needs to let this guy ride his bike and mind his business. We can't be policing the bike lane this hard.
Well, they're self-policing, right? Okay, what else do you guys want to talk about?
I'm Megan. I'm from Orlando, and I'm here to talk about Pete Davidson calling Kanye West a gay Nazi. The original Pete-Kanye feud was a fun one because it was so obvious who to root for. Kanye has been problematic in every way imaginable, and in my opinion, has deserved every shot that Pete took at him. But what I'm interested in now is whether Kanye is able to continue on this path of contrition he's on, or whether this one-liner is enough to pull him back into the fray.
Yeah, but Kanye's moved on to other things. Pete Davidson's kind of history with
And I would think there's someone in Kanye's camp saying, you're just trying to bounce back from this. Don't get pulled back in.
Yeah, that's right.
So hopefully.
Who is that person?
Yeah, good point.
One more.
Hello, I'm Vanessa. I'm from Florence, South Carolina, and I'm here to talk about Rihanna and A$AP Rocky. I see that they went out for Mother's Day, I think, this past Sunday, and they don't seem as blissful as they used to. I don't know. I know couples struggle and they go through things, but it just seems that their chemistry isn't as blissful as it used to.
Yeah, kids drag you down, right?
It's not the kids.
Coming up, I want to air a grievance. Have you voted yet?
I have not.
There is something so ridiculous on the California ballot, and this is the case in many other states too.
Be right back.
I want to air a grievance. Have you voted yet?
I have not.
There is something so ridiculous on the California ballot, and this is the case in many other states too. We elect our trial judges in California. Nobody knows who these people are. Nobody knows. And people are just blindly voting for so-and-so. It's so stupid.
It is the most infuriating part of the ballot every single election year. Because if you're actually doing it where you want to be conscious of this, you have to do research on all of these. And so you read the blurb, and then the blurb makes you think of something else. You got to research it yourself, and it's a pain in the ass.
It is ridiculous.
And most people don't do that.
We should have a commission that appoints judge. Well, first of all, the governor appoints people initially, but then they get reelected every 6 years. The governor should be doing this. This is ridiculous. I'm just done. I am done.
My drink was full when he started that rant.
Done.